Thank you for tuning in to another episode of InRange. We're at the two-gun action challenge match, and this is typically rifle and pistol.
Yep.
But we've got a thing we're doing today, which is where we're really comparing rifles in a different way. So the pistol part's not really part of that.
And this stage coming up is all pistol.
It's all pistol only, and we're using unique enough pistols, both of us, that it justifies doing a video just talking about that alone. So what are you using today?
I have what everyone has been calling a roll-in special Glock, sort of.
Well, you're missing the comp. Yeah.
I'll be honest. The compensator hasn't been worth dealing with it.
So you tried it with a comp. I know you did, and you didn't find it to have enough of a reason to put it on there?
Not yet. Honestly, I don't think I have enough shooting skill with this to justify the compensator at this point.
I would agree with that to a large degree, that this gun and this config with the red dot and the sighting system and the overall size of it, that's where the roll-in special starts becoming awesome, and the comp is the last thing you put on if you want to squeak out that little extra bit.
Yeah. To me, the real value here is the optic.
What size mags are you using today?
Just standard ones.
Okay.
17.
Okay. Although
15 round, and I believe I have one with a base plate.
In armored, you could have been 33s even.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you never seem to. You always cut yourself out of that. Now, this is where it gets interesting.
I don't need the extra shots.
You probably
What are you saying?
Exactly. Then now this is where this might get a little more interesting. So here we go. This is the Hudson H9, but now this is getting roll-in special-ish.
Yeah.
Okay? So we've got the same Delta Point Pro red dot on it. We do now have backup iron sights, which, by the way, backup iron sights isn't really the right term in a roll-in special. It's not so much a concern about the dot dying or turning off. It's that these iron sights allow you to align the gun so you can pick up the dot quick, faster.
Yeah.
When there's no iron sighting system, you have to have so many presentations, and you have to be in the right situation for that dot to show up. And I don't like that. I like picking up the iron sights and then transitioning to the dot.
The thing is, on a carbine with a red dot, you don't need that because you've got a cheek weld that gives you basically a perfect index on the gun to begin with.
Yes, yes.
You don't have a cheek weld on a pistol, and so it takes a lot more practice to be able to just draw that thing and have the dot in front of you immediately without having a physical index like the iron sights.
I would also argue that events like Two Gun, where we're in very unorthodox positions sometimes, that kind of practice still will not help you when you're trying to shoot rollover prone under a truck with one hand or whatever. So having those iron sights allows you to find the dot.
Yeah.
So this is interesting in that we're now really pushing an envelope here, to use that kind of catchphrase, with the Hudson 9. We've got a Delta Point Pro. The slide was milled by KE Arms. And I've been collaborating with Russell over at KE Arms because they're the guys willing to do the work. Right? Yeah. So we've got this slide cut with the Delta Point Pro. They are now manufacturing a very tall front sight, which initially when we put this on, I did not have the front sight, and that's when I'm like, wow, I really miss my iron sights. This is a KE Arms front sight. It's awesome. It slides right into the dovetail, and there's just a screw in there, and you just tighten the screw down. It's the most easy install of an iron sight I've ever had in my life. And then I'm also, because 15 does suck, these are +2 KE Arms base plates. Okay. So now I've got 17 round Hudson mags. That makes this more compelling, but I gotta say, I miss my 33s. I'm hoping to see that the Hudson becomes successful enough that we start seeing things like 33 round mags, or bigger mags than +2, although +2 is a big jump forward. It sounds corny, but extra 2 rounds matters, and in a competition it matters, and in real life it matters. So you've got your roll-in special-ish, and I've got a very forward-leaning Hudson 9 config here today. We're gonna see how this goes on the clock.
Honestly, the only reason I'm not using that is because I don't have a holster for a red dot Hudson 9 left-handed yet.
That's true. So that's true. It's true.
I'm planning on getting my own, and when I do, it's going to be one of the aluminum framed.
Yep. So in full disclosure, this is really kind of a T&E thing because I did pay for the Delta Point Pro, but the work and the sight and the +2 base plates were all donated by KE Arms. So this is I did not buy this stuff. We are just using it.
And let's see. Actually, KE donated this Glock, but I paid for the dot on it as well.
Yeah, so we paid for the dots, but the rest of this is really stuff that we did not pay for. So just letting people know in the audience, we always disclose when we bought something or when we're using it as a T&E, and this is more in that T&E realm. So let's see how the stage goes.
All right.
Shooter starts standing here, pistol fully loaded and holstered. At buzzer, shooter will draw their pistol and neutralize the first plate on the plate rack. They will then place the pistol safely in the cone provided here, pointed at the impact perm on the left. Shooter will then acquire the kettlebell, run down range, and reset up the plate that they neutralized. They will then return to the firing position, reacquire their pistol, and neutralize plates 1 and 2. They will then repeat. They will pick up the kettlebell, run down range, reset plates 1 and 2, come back to the firing position, and they whiff the kettlebell each time, and they will neutralize plates 1, 2, 3. They will do this until they have neutralized all 6 pistol plates on the plate rack. Wow, this is a giant pain in the ass.
Who designed this stage?
All right. What do you say? Gentleman's wager?
How much?
Gentleman's wager.
What is it?
$1. All
Alright.
That's fine.
That's not.
You're gonna get one now. I know what you think. You gave me the idea.
Yeah.
Why not? It's a wager. See, I know. I can't. You know, there's a bet. If there wasn't a bet on the line,
Let's see if he
I'm
does
not
a
gonna tell you my
proactive reload.
Alright, that's fine. I'll win it the regular way.
There it is.
Huh?
You can't shoot one target ahead of time.
I know.
And I haven't figured that. I'm going first, so I won't.
That's what I'm looking for.
There you go.
Because I think my plan, if all goes well, will probably shape 10. Saying you're really great at pistol. You saw me rock the pistol over there. Like, I wish I could have done more. I should have just skipped all the raffle targets.
I know, me too. You gotta keep your magazines on.
Are we skipping the center one?
You can do whatever you want.
Gonna have to shoot it eventually. It's hard to follow.
Oh, you have to shoot them in order.
I guess as long as you keep up numbers.
I think I just want to die.
Not yet. Stage is over.
One more.
One more.
Last trip.
What's the weight on the kettlebell?
36 pounds.
Too heavy. By the end.
At least it's not the 60-pound one.
Or you want to work last night.
What happens at the bar stays at the bar.
Unless you bring it to
Ah.
Time.
All right, so first off, let me say this. That stage is absolutely everything that epitomizes quality 2D ACM stage.
Yeah, for sure.
One target, one kettlebell, multiple iterations, lots of pain. Mwah.
The less stuff there is on one of your stages, the worse it's going to be.
If you come out to a stage at 2-gun and there's one target, you know that that's going to be pain.
Yeah, be scared.
And this one was. When we were walking up to come shoot this, the other squad was leaving, and people were like, "Thanks, Karl." Like, and I know then, I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be a good one." And because, I mean, that's the goal. One of the reasons, one of the things that's quintessentially different, it could be that you could do this at 3-gun or cowboy or any match, but one of the things that is quintessentially different about what we do here is we absolutely want to ramp up the physicality along with the shooting and marksmanship challenges.
Right.
It's not one or the other. Sometimes we sway to one side more than the other, but this one really was kind of like perfect.
Yeah.
Like and you see that as I was watching other people shoot, not just myself. I start off, accuracy's good, accuracy's good. As you're running back, you see the guy, and by the way, the weight is a big part of that. And then by the last couple iterations, all of a sudden this one shot, one hit thing is gone, and it starts becoming like, because
Exactly.
being a good marksman is one thing. Being a good marksman while you are fatigued, have a higher heart rate, and you're out of breath is an entirely different thing, because now there's first of all, you can only train for that type of situation by doing it.
Right.
And so if you think that you go to a normal range and shoot without any of this fatigue, and you're a very good marksman, which you very well may be, the minute that heart rate goes up and you're as good as you were, suddenly that goes out the door fast.
Yeah, for sure.
And pistols, more so than rifles.
I think this is one of the situations where my pistol, and even more so your pistol, really help.
Yes.
Because having the red dot and having a good trigger, which the Glock does not, but the Hudson does,
Yeah.
that really, it doesn't make up for the fatigue, but it helps mitigate.
Right, that's exactly right. So like, for example, you could use iron sights to telling effect and with lots of accuracy.
Oh, yeah.
Until the situation dictates that those are now a liability and not a benefit. By putting on force multiplication type gear or enhancing your equipment, it doesn't make you an inherently better marksman, but what it does do is allow you to deal with unsatisfactory conditions in a way without degrading your performance very much.
Yeah.
And so, for example, on the Hudson, which I'm going to go ahead and tout this, the dot, huge. I mean, the dot makes a big difference.
Yeah.
The minute we got the Hudson, I'm like, this is cool, I need a dot. Now we got the dot. When you put that in tandem with the very excellent trigger that comes out of the box. Now, could you make this even better? Probably, but I left this stock. But when you put those two together, when you're out of breath and your heart rate's way up there, guess what? There's more room for error on the part of the operator.
Exactly.
And this is compensating for the fact that I'm now struggling with myself to get the hits.
Yeah.
And your red dot on your Glock does the same thing, but your trigger doesn't do you as much of a favor.
Exactly. I'm partway there. Maybe even most of the way there, but not all the way there.
Yep. And so one thing that you didn't do, which I was for some reason cognizant of this time, is because I'm so aware of the fact that my Hudson 9 doesn't have a cool 33 round mag, that as I was shooting, I'm like, I'm going to reload before I start this array so that I'm not reloading in the middle of an array.
You haven't seen it yet, but I was quietly asking the camera if you were going to do that.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, you'll see it in the footage when you go back and
I did.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, you didn't quite finish.
I deliberately didn't do that because I lost track of where I was, and I was using enough ammo that, in your case, one reload was really you were going to have to reload, and it was only going to take one.
Yes.
So it made sense to do it immediately.
Yes.
For me, I was like, well, you saw I needed 3 mags, so might as well just drain every mag and make sure I don't run out of magazines.
Now, you didn't quite finish. You left one hanging.
I was very close.
When I saw you running back, it's an unusual situation when you're running on a stage to hear you getting gassed out. But this one seemed to gas you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, armor plus.
Oh, yeah.
How much did that kettlebell weigh?
36 pounds.
Yeah. So that's plus this thing. That's 50 pounds of. In addition to me.
Yeah. And I'm doing the same, clearly.
And you mentioned this briefly, but that kettlebell makes a significant difference because you're carrying it with your arms.
Mm-hmm.
The same arms that you're using to try and stabilize your pistol.
Some of this stuff's quite insidious. You don't notice it until you're actually doing it. So, watching it on the camera may not have made that realize. You may not realize that. But, if we had just put a big, heavy backpack on you, you would have been winded. But you wouldn't have fatigued your arms.
Right.
And so, stuff like putting the kettlebell there that you have to carry back and forth is intentional.
You're just a jerk.
Sure.
I know how it is.
Isn't that the reason to come out to things like this, though, is to improve yourself? I mean, that's the goal.
Yep.
So, anyways, I think this one really did it, and the Roland Special without the comp did well.
Yes.
The Hudson, honestly, we keep getting accused of this, but it has nothing to do with it. The gun really is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It performs.
And I can't shoot one target at a time.
a giant pain in the ass.
Who designed this stage?
What do you say?
What is it?
$1.
Keep your magazine on.
It's a wager. I know. I can't. You know, it's a bet. If there wasn't a bet on the line.
See if he does a proactive reload.
Gonna have to shoot it eventually.
There it is.
I think I just want to die.
Not yet.
One more.
One more.
Last trip.
What's the weight on the kettlebell?
36 pounds.
Too heavy. By the end.
At least it's not the 60-pound one.
Or you wind up
What happens at the bar stays at the bar. Unless you bring it
Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like this kind of stuff, consider supporting us on Patreon. It's you guys that keep this channel alive. And if you can't do that, or even if you do, please share with your friends. Thanks a lot.